and we did not play well in the first half. The turnover was a big play in the game. Obviously, the 2 missed field goals were big plays in the game. That's 13 points. We get back into the game and give up the explosive pass, miss a tackle, and the game was, kind of out of hand at that point in time. But look, our guys fought, our guys competed. We had some guys go down, some guys step up. But we're going to have to regroup. We're going to have to play better.
Can you put your finger on maybe why there were so many offensive penalties today?
I don't know for sure. A couple of them I'm not sure I agreed with, but certainly that's something that we got to clean up, because really we're beating ourselves. We're beating ourselves with penalties. We're beating ourselves turning the football over, and that's got to stop. Yeah, I didn't see it. I looked at the replay. I wasn't sure what it was, but I'm not going to comment too much on any of that, though.
How about that illegal shift that killed the drive? Was that a leak switch, or what happened on that one where, and then it ended in the bubble snap?
Yeah, we had a little miscommunication in terms of alignment, and so we got to clean that up. We got to be better there.
How surprised are you with the offense struggling the way it has, especially in the game?
Well, look, I don't know if surprise would be the word. We got a lot of new pieces and really didn't get a chance to work as much, in training camp as we would have liked. But that's not, we got a job to do. We got to go out there and we got to play better. We got to perform better. We got to coach them better. And so it starts with me. And look, we'll head over to London. We'll get ourselves ready and have a good week of work. Get ready to go play the Vikings.
You mentioned injuries. How significant? You seem like you're right up shooting for it.
Yeah. Look, we, Mike injured a toe. Jarvis injured his ankle. Looks like Traquan had a concussion. So, we were really down to, kind of at the end there, we're really down to 2 receivers. So we'll have to evaluate to see where everybody's at and how significant the injuries are, and see where we go from there.
What are some of the things you guys will look at or can do to fix some of the turnover issues that they've had?
Well, look, I mean, the one was they did a good job of ripping the ball out, So, look, it's part of the point of emphasis, and obviously we're not getting emphasized enough because, we've had it happen a couple of weeks in a row, and we've got to clean that up, And then look, some of the interceptions happen because you're trying to play catch up, and you're pressing a little bit. So, I just think we got to we got to be better early on in the game. We got to execute better. And so certainly I think that starts with us as a coaching staff. We got to put a good plan together and give our guys a chance to go out and be successful.
And it's obviously so many things on offense that we've already talked about, but the microscope is so big on James Winston. What was your confidence level in his performance today?
Yeah, look, I think everybody, when you get in these situations, is kind of looking for, a place to place blame. There's enough mistakes to go around that I don't really want to go there. I feel confident with Jameis. Certainly, we all need to do better, and that's what we're going to do.
And how about his health? I know he warmed up less before the game. Was he even more dealing with the pain and pain management than he was a week ago?
Again, look, you would have to ask him those questions. Certainly, he's a competitor. He's a battler. He's tough. He's fighting through some things, and that's part of playing pro football.
His back kind of stays how it is right now, or how much pain is it? I guess what would it take to consider quarterback change?
Well, I think this. I think all the elements around him have to play better, and so I think, again, like everybody's looking for a place to go to look to place blame, but I think we got to play better as a football team in all areas, and not look to individuals really.
Dennis, how big of an issue is it right now? Teams blitzing and coming after Jameis. It seems like that's something that you all struggle with at times. Is that because of his lack of mobility, or is that part of the
Well,
package?
yeah, I'm sure that's part of it, and each week there's a different game plan. I know obviously there's a couple of zero pressures that we got, where there's going to be a free guy, and I thought they did a good job defensively of creating some pressure and attacking us, but I think that's a combination of things. I think we got to do a better job, having our guys in position to succeed in those situations, and sometimes take advantage of when people want to try to get aggressive with us.
Will's been good, consistent for a long time. Just missed a kick in each game. How concerning is that?
Well, he's got to kick it through the uprights, but I'm not. I got plenty of confidence in Will Lutz.
Okay, just so there's no misunderstanding. How did they got picked up on what you were saying? But I'm not sure. You're saying you aren't at a point where you're looking at quarterback.
No.
That's the guy.
No, look, we all have to play better, and so I'm not looking to single anything out. Obviously, we got to make some corrections, and we got to do a better job as a group.
Was Chris Olave's kind of ability today, especially as guys started falling out, one of the positives you think of this game?
Yeah, look, I thought he did some nice things in the game. Obviously, we've been able to hit him on some explosive plays down the field. I think that's a good thing, and certainly we want to continue to utilize him in that regard. Yeah, I thought he did some good things in the game. Okay, thanks.
Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast post-game show for week 3. The New Orleans Saints lose to the Carolina Panthers by a score of 22-14, and the Saints lose their second straight game of the regular season. Who Dat Nation, I'm gonna be real with you. This offense does not look good. This New Orleans Saints team is not a disciplined team. They're not doing the things to get the job done. They're constantly shooting themselves in the foot. It's clear that they're talented. It's clear that they're talented. But it's amazing to me over the last couple of weeks how this team has found ways to lose, man. It's just unbelievable. I walk away from the last 2 weeks. I mean, last week and this week, I cannot say that the New Orleans Saints weren't better or on the same level as the Bucks, and I really feel like still they're better than the Carolina Panthers. It was more so what the Saints didn't do, more so than what Carolina actually did. Now, defensively, you got to give Carolina some credit. These guys stepped up. They put pressure on Jameis Winston. I will say this about Jameis. His ability to read the blitz is not good. It's not good. And that's one of the things that I feel like we miss and we took for granted when it came to Drew Brees' quarterback play. Drew Brees, you better not blitz him, because if you do, then he's gonna end up biting you in the behind because of it. I just think that when it comes to dissecting the defense, It's supposed to be like a combination of the offensive line and the quarterback communicating with one another to make sure that they're actually picking it up. It was times where the defense of the Carolina Panthers, these guys were like running free to the quarterback. And he really didn't have any time. And I'm talking Jameis Winston to get the ball down the field. Now, there was some bright spots on his team. Chris Olave really stepped up today. I know we've had our reservation about Traquan Smith. He made some plays today. Callaway with the one-hand snag in the back of the end zone. This team offensively is talented. They're very, very talented. But you cannot start off slow. You cannot constantly shoot yourself in the foot by having these penalties when you are converting on third down and you're converting second downs and you're making big plays. You are not going to win a lot of games. You are going to lose more so than you win. Now, I think that people will expect for me to probably come on here and start getting angry and upset and acting as if the sky's falling and we just going to be just straight terrible, straight trash. I just don't believe it. I just don't. I don't believe that this team will consistently play as bad as they have over the last 3 weeks. Now, you can call me insane. You can call me, whatever you want to. But this season isn't over. And I've seen on several occasions teams start off looking bad. And then all of a sudden they just go out there and the light just comes on and everything just clicking on all cylinders. Now you got something to build on. You got a defense that shuts teams down. Like this defense, they only, they only allow one touchdown in this game. One. That's what people aren't understand. I understand it was a big play by Chenault, which, when he got traded to Carolina, that was one of my biggest issues because the dude is a playmaker. But the defense really stepped up. And for people like talking about the defense and ragging on the defense and talking about how the defense didn't step up towards the end, like how long did this defense stay on the field? How long did the defense stay on the field? How many 3 and outs or, quick 3 and outs did the Saints offense have? By the time these guys get some Gatorade in their system, get a little fan on their face, it's time to go back out there. And how can you expect for this defense to continuously play lights out if they're constantly getting out there and they're constantly getting winded? Period. So people talking about the DBs and this and that and the third, man, like y'all whiny Saints fans that ain't never really experienced any type of adversity, y'all make me sick. I'm just being serious. Y'all complain about everything. Y'all don't allow things to develop. Y'all so quick to jump off the train. Like, this is a new New Orleans Saints team. And this is a new regime. This is this is a new offense, basically, guys trying to learn how to play with one another. And win, lose, or draw, I'm still up in this thing. I don't care. I don't care. I am not going to sit up here and bash the team. This wrong, that wrong, this and that wrong. Find another, if that's what you're looking for in a podcaster, then I don't know what to tell you. But I have confidence in this team. And until the season is over, I still feel like this team still can make the playoffs. I still do. Because there's nothing over the last couple of weeks that is telling me that this team does not have the capability of getting it all together and being a formidable team in NFC. Now, if you want to talk about one of the top teams in NFC, I don't know about that. But there are 7 spots in the playoffs. I am just dumb enough to believe and gullible enough to believe that the New Orleans Saints can make it happen. But this would happen after 3 weeks of football. Some of you who were born past, who watched the Saints in 2006, you're not used to being in these type of situations. And hell, the Saints have been in these type of situations. They've been 1-2. They've been 1-2. They look like slow. You know what I'm saying? There's been times over the time when they had Drew, they was 1-2. And we were still having these same type of conversations. What's going on with the defense? What's going on with the offense? What happened to the deep ball? We can't get the ball down the field. We can't, it's every single time. It's every single time the Saints go and deal with some level of adversity. You have people out here who, who just give up. But I ain't giving up. Point blank, period. If you want to give up, if you talking about the team is trash and that's the way that you want to feel about it, fine. But it's only been 3 games in the season. 3. So it's not like, there's not room for them to turn it around. And it's not like they can't, make things better. So until I actually see otherwise, I'm going to continue to say that. Now, some of y'all will feel like, well, I'm saying this right now, I'm ahead of the curve if something was to happen. You get no stripes for that. Like, I want people to understand, coming into chats, saying we trash, saying we terrible, you get absolutely no stripes for that. Like, nobody wants to be in this position. And the fact that you feel like you get pride out of a position like this, like, just shows me how sad that is. I take no pride talking to you after a Saints loss. I have no pride talking to you about a stagnant offense and penalties galore. But some of you, I guess you get pride in it because you feel like, oh man, I'm right all the time. I'm gonna be right this time. Like, okay, whatever you say. But as for me, I'm gonna continue to ride this train. I'm gonna continue to support this team, win, lose, or draw. Probably it'll be a good thing because some of y'all, you know what I'm saying, probably hop off the bandwagon. We can finally figure out who the real Saints fans is for the good, bad, and indifferent. And some of y'all who just been kind of just riding the wave of prosperity over the last 15 years. So it's probably a good thing to be able to weigh some of y'all out. So maybe I wouldn't have to, dissect through some of these pathetic, I won't call them pathetic, but these weird takes after 3 weeks of football. But let's go ahead and read some of these comments. 291 people here right now. Ask that you hit the like button. Let's go ahead and get started. Clearly, the Saints are still feeling things out. The timing is off with the receivers. Look, I don't know if the timing is off or what. I don't know exactly what's happening, but I do know this. Regardless if they're doing some positive things, still, it's getting negated by penalties. Guys are getting false starts. That's mental things right there. That's mental, right? You know what I'm saying? Like when you getting false starts. And, I just heard the telecast here, you know what I'm saying, the stream after the game talking about the Carolina Panthers. Like it wasn't to a point where the stadium was just full, right? So you was able to hit a snap count and still you weren't able to, you still not able to like keep still until they snap the ball. You getting these false start penalties. You getting these bad blocking penalties. And, it's no room for that. And I just feel like it's damn if you do and damn if you don't, right? So let me get this straight. If, some of us came into this game still hot from last week over the 3 turnovers. So regardless unless Jameis would have put forward a 400-yard, 4-touchdown performance, y'all would have been saying this joint anyway. But penalties, fumbling the football, but people still finding room to say in the first half is all Jameis' fault, the reason why we fell behind. Contrary to popular belief, like the Saints defense still kept them in the game. So if you take away from that fumble that Alvin Kamara had, the score was 6-0 going into the half. But, of course, we're going to dissect. The ball went over this dude's head when he was open. He threw it down at the ground. Like that should have been a pass. He threw it too low. Like, man, all this nitpicking and stuff like this, man, like, man, my goodness. All I'm saying is I do not know and I do not understand what y'all feel Andy Dalton would have done in this game. The only thing maybe he probably could have done, I don't know where Andy is when it comes to like, picking up the blitz or whatever. I don't know. I don't know where he would be. That's the only thing I can maybe think about. Like maybe he could have done it, like stop the bleeding. But if these receivers, for the most part, aren't getting, like aren't getting open at a certain time, and these guys are blitzing with it, what is he really supposed to do? Like if you want to talk about like some of the mistakes that he made in this game, fine. But I mean, it adds to the fact that the offense has been stagnant. The penalties have been insane. They only averaged like 10 points in the first half over the last 3 weeks. That's pretty bad, man. It's pretty bad. But let me go ahead and read some more comments. Let me see. I don't think people give up just expressing what we are seeing. Man, people, man. Okay. If you say so. Next question. Where my boy Joe at? You wanted us to lose. Now your time to shine. Yeah. Defense held their own. Offense couldn't get nothing going. I blame a lot on the play calling. Man, I just think that you have to. I just think that you have to feel the game, man. I think you have to feel the game, and I just think that when it came to the play calling, when you know these guys were blitzing, you should have called some plays where you can get the ball out of Jameis's hand quick. These guys were like sending everybody. You got to be able to read the pulse of that. But man, I come away from this game I'm gonna say anything, about Jameis Winston, like, man, he's had trouble picking up the blitz. Like, I don't know what the heck going on with that. Marquez Callaway to start next week at wide receiver. Our offense hit, though. We can't deny that. Look, when I said it, and I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to continue to say it, when this offense gets it together, combined with this defense, this is going to be a tough team to beat. It's going to be a tough team to beat. I don't know how they're going to fix these offensive issues, but if it all comes together, this is going to be a tough team to beat. I'm going to be back watching next Sunday. Draft a quarterback. TJ, I understand you need chemistry and to gel, but when you see a team consistently do nothing, it kind of gets worrying, eh? Yeah, it kind of gets worrying, but I'm gonna just be real. Then we have these same conversations like over the last 3-4 weeks, how the Saints couldn't score and they had to wait to the fourth quarter in order for them to generate any type of offense. I could be crazy, but I remember having these same conversations last year. We had them when, Taysom was playing. We had them when Trevor Siemian was playing, because we called Trevor Siemian the garbage man, because, he was only like generating points in the fourth quarter. So if they're doing this with Taysom, they're doing this with Trevor, and they're doing it with Jameis, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Maybe, we have to look at who's calling these plays. Me neither. I just hope that we get things clicking on the offense, especially the O-line and the play calling. Yeah. The only concern is ball security and injuries. Man, I just never seen a team like just constantly like just beat themselves like this. Like the biggest thing that the Saints did in this game was give Carolina hope. Like, these fans came out there, they didn't come out there to see no win. I'm gonna be real. The Carolina Panthers fan did not come out there to see Carolina beat the Saints. They came out there the same way some of you were talking about with Jameis Winston. They wanted some more narrative to be added on to a pile of already written narrative about Matt Rule, so they can go ahead and get him up out of here, and and boo till they blue in the face. So, it could continue to maybe, create some change for this team. That's why these guys were out there. They weren't out here to see, man, I'm about to go out here watch the Saints, like, watch the Saints get beat by the Carolina Panthers. Man, they ain't come out there for that. Those people were ready to boo. There was one play they went 3 and out. They was winning 6-0. They started booing. These people were just ready to boo. And the Saints gave everybody in the stadium confidence. Gave these guys confidence. Even though they were a struggling football team, it just showed you that, okay, man, we still got a chance at this. The Saints should have put their foot on these guys' neck earlier in this game, and they should have just go ahead and just continue to try to sustain some drives and continue to work, and they could have got out of there with a win. But instead, they let these guys play around, and they gave these guys a bunch of confidence, and these guys like, man, I can do this. And all of a sudden, now we 1-2 as an organization. Like, are we watching the same game? Let me see. By game 5, we will gel. It's going to happen. This ish is getting ridiculous. Playing 3 division games consecutively is tough for any ball club. Missed and blocked field goal was huge. 5 picks in the last 2 games. I'm a Saints fan in Atlanta. As long as we stay ahead of Atlanta, we win. Yeah, look, we second to last right now in division instead of last. Man, we need Peyton back. O-line, sorry, D Allen not it. Winston not getting it done. Oh man. Let's see. Keep taking up for this dude is laughable. Well, I mean, itching on a team after 3 weeks is laughable to me, if you want to be honest. I guess I'm not a quitter. Maybe some of y'all, what I'm saying, like maybe that's how y'all apply things in y'all life. But I rather see things through, for me to just continue to like bash a guy, continue to say, oh, that's not it. I mean, good for you, man. But as for me, after 3 weeks of football, I'm not gonna do it. Like I said, there's so many shows right now that y'all can log on to that'll tell you the sky's falling and make you feel just as content as you want to feel about the sky's falling. But as for me, I'm just gonna be optimistic. I'm gonna talk about what I see. I'm gonna talk about things that I actually, I'd rather focus on the things that they did wrong, how they can correct them, and maybe some optimism in the midst. But I guess some people just like to hear negative things, and they expected me to get behind the mic and start bashing Jameis Winston and nobody else, right? So I shouldn't talk about how the offense had all the penalties. I shouldn't talk about the fumble that they resorted to a touchdown. I shouldn't talk about the block field goals. I shouldn't talk about any of those things, right? The possible fumble that could have took place on special teams coming out of the second half. But all of those things right there, I just need to bump all that, forget about all that, and just focus on Jameis Winston, because Jameis Winston is not the answer. Okay, once again, if Jameis Winston is the answer, somebody tell me who it is. Okay, so let's just say, for example, out of curiosity, if Andy Dalton comes in and Andy Dalton struggles with this offense, then what will y'all do then? Right? What will you do then? Because I can tell you right now, based on what I'm seeing when it comes to the offensive line not really getting any type of push in order for the running backs to run in this game. The fact that they're not he doesn't have enough time to get the ball out of his hand, especially when it comes from the blitz. Like, what are you all just thinking? So you just think that all of a sudden, like, if Andy Dalton comes into this game, he's just gonna light it up with 300 yards in the first half, 3 touchdowns every single week. That's what some of y'all think, right? Well, I can tell you right now, based on what this offense is doing, based on how this play calling is, it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. They still gonna have these little stagnant moments. It's been like that with 3 quarterbacks over the last 2 seasons. There's been ineptitude on the offense, late game heroics in the fourth quarter. Like it was with Trevor Siemian, same way with Taysom Hill, and then now it's with Jameis Winston. So I'm telling you, some of y'all just feel like I'm being wrong or I'm being a defender, but I am telling you, go back and look. This team offensively, when it came to the play calling, it's the same way. They struggled for 3 quarters, then the fourth quarter, when the defense is starting to play them soft, that's when you start to see them take advantage of that. Go back and look. Don't even take my word for it. Go back and watch those games. Hey, TJ, I believe in what you say. I think we will be fine. We just keep on shooting ourselves in the foot. We going to get the dub next Sunday. Who that? Look, Miles, I appreciate the $9.99. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And like I said, they lost the game today. A lot of self-inflicted wounds, more so than what I feel like Carolina was doing, to me. Their defense was playing really well, but man, you gotta be able to read the blitz better than that. Woulda, shoulda, coulda, what a joke. Let's see. That's what trained football teams do. Shoulda, coulda, waste of time. Nice try. By game 5, it's too late. Well, we'll see. What's up, TJ? Calling for people's jobs, saying the season is over, and not being able to deal with adversity after 3 weeks is definition of giving up. Look, and here's the thing. This is what a lot of people aren't understanding. All right. So, Jameis Winston didn't practice at all last week. At all. He took mental reps. He was on the sideline. Andy Dalton got the majority of the snaps. Now, I'm not the smartest man in the world, but somebody answer this question for me. If you're a coach, and you watching Andy Dalton facilitate the offense, he's spinning that thing, right? All right, so if Andy Dalton was the answer, like y'all been saying that he was, wouldn't you honestly believe if Andy was like slicing through the Saints defense in practice like Swiss cheese? Don't you think he probably would have went to Jameis like, Jameis, you know what, man? We were saying Andy, we're gonna go with Andy this Sunday, let you get healed up or whatever. So if he was like what y'all saying that he is, like he's the answer. He is the Steve Young of the situation, right? He's gonna come into the game, he's gonna lead us to victory. That's what he's gonna do. So if that's the case, then why didn't he start today? I'm just wondering, like, why did he start today? If he is as good as everybody's saying that he is, if he's the answer like y'all saying that he is, and the only reason why y'all saying that he's the answer is because y'all basing him on preseason. And I like Andy Dalton. I do. I like Andy Dalton a lot, man. I think that he is the best when it comes to backup quarterbacks in the National Football League. He's probably the best. You have to give him the notch because, he's played in so many games as a starter for Cincinnati. I will give you that. But all I'm saying is we acting like we got Mahomes on the bench or something. The best quarterback on the team on a stagnant offense is the backup quarterback. That's all. That's what it is. All I'm saying is I don't care who you put in here. If the offensive line is getting false starts and illegal blocks and all these other things, you're going to lose the game. Andy Dalton, like this is what people don't understand. If Andy Dalton was in this game, I still feel like the Saints would have lost the way that this offense was playing. The penalties. If I don't know. I do not know. I don't get it. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. I get people I understand that Jameis Winston leaves a lot to be desired with his accuracy. It is even the commentators on television talking about he's not right. I get all that, but damn, I just don't understand it. Like I just don't get how people can just, if the people just think that the answer is just on the bench. I just don't. I mean, the answer is not on the bench, man. This offense needs to figure out its identity. They have no identity. Like, honestly, when you used to watch the Saints over the last 10 years, what their identity was, right? It was like 3-step drop, short immediate passes, get the ball in the hands of your playmakers, watch them work, right? The screen pass to Alvin Kamara, like the shallow cross to Michael Thomas, right? Might take a deep pass downfield to guys like Meacham, guys like Henderson, guys like Joseph Morgan, right? Guys like that, right? That was kind of like their calling card. Methodical drives. Like, ain't nobody, like, all of a sudden, like, everybody just want, 40, 50-yard bombs. Like, that has never been the Saints recipe. You know what the Saints recipe was? To be honest with you, that last drive that they had when Will Lutz missed that 48-yard field goal. That was a recipe for what the Saints have been successful at for years. Those slow, methodical drives where they just took what the defense give them, put the ball in the hands of their playmakers, and watch them work. So I don't know, man. Like that's the recipe for this team. But like I said, they have no identity. Like, you don't know what you're gonna get. I didn't know what the Saints were gonna do. Like, when they were down, I didn't know what they were gonna do offensively. I was wondering. Like, we know that the Saints will screen you to death. I ain't seen many screen passes. I seen one that was trying to be a screen pass that ended up, almost being intercepted when Alvin Kamara fell down. But they're like, this team has no identity. TJ, we start slow next week. What is the answer? I don't know. That's the thing. I don't have the answers. I really can't, because I honestly feel, and I'm not just saying this because I'm being a homer. I honestly feel that the New Orleans Saints aren't as bad as people making them out to be. Like, I don't feel like the Saints are like the Jets or anything like that. I just feel like this is a team that is trying to figure things out. And maybe, like I said, it's because it's in the regular season. We're frustrated because all these games starting to add up and you start off with 3 NFC opponents. I get that. But I really, like, looking at this team, looking at how they, they play and the talent that they have on this team, I don't feel like this team is as bad as people making them out to be. I mean, collectively, I just think that they're not on the same page. I think they're starting to get there. And if you notice like some of the bright spots, like you see Chris Olave like on the deep ball, right? You know what I'm saying? The issue was last week, him throwing the ball down the field, not being accurate with Chris Olave. Well, he connected on that and a couple deep passes to him. So that was an improvement. Then you have like some of these passes that he was throwing. I remember like week 1 versus Michael Thomas, you know what I'm saying? He throwing the ball, Michael Thomas, ball was always behind him. Now he's starting to throw it like in that vicinity. He's throwing it low because he know these guys can get down to it. That comes with time. That comes with time on task and chemistry. Like we just expect, like, I just think that as fans, some of us never really experienced like actually playing the game of football. So we just think, okay, it's kind of like basketball, right? When we go to the park or something, and you got 5 guys out there and they all good and they all on the same team. So because they all on the same team, they should just beat the heck out of everybody that comes to the park. That's kind of how we feel. But we don't understand about chemistry. We don't understand about being a cohesive unit, a well-oiled machine, and understanding tendencies. We just automatically just thought, oh, they got Landry. Oh, they got the Honey Badger. Oh, they got Michael Thomas. Oh, they got Chris Olave. Like, now we just gonna be an unstoppable force. And we start talking. We start talking about expectations. But I often and I constantly say it. I said, I don't know what this team is going to be. I got to see it on the field. Like, anybody can look good on paper. If we were playing Madden, we'll be straight. Like, you know what I'm saying? We'll win more games than we lose. But this is real life. And teams scheme against these guys. And if you're not prepared and you're not on the same page, guess what? You're gonna lose. No matter who you're going up against. No matter how great the team is, no matter how bad the team is. If you're not on the same page, it is not going to happen. We have no consistency in the coaching or coaching staff. We still running these old simple plays from 2010 Super Bowl teams in this 2022 season. Yeah, I just feel like they don't have an identity. Defensively, they do, but how many times can you ask your defense to come out there and just, with quick 3 and outs, to go out there and just, play lights out defense? I mean, the fact that they waited that long in order to give up a play to Chenault is nothing short of a miracle. Stop defending P. Carmichael and D. Allen. Both of them are horrible. Well, they have not had a good out of it. I can tell you right there. Post Sean Payton, they have not had a good out. I mean, if Dennis Allen is calling those defensive plays, he has, but as far as Pete Carmichael, not so much. All these games matter. Good thing the Panthers are bad, so are the Falcons, and Tom Brady is old. This is still hope. There's still hope. Look, I still believe in this football team, and I'm still gonna be rooting for this team. My love and loyalty to this team it's not based on 3 weeks in the season. I want this team to win. I think that this team has some bright spots. I just think that we need to wait. And the crazy thing about this is I'm gonna give y'all an example. Now, we laughed. We laughed at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans in 2020 when they brought in Antonio Brown. They had Mike Evans. They had Chris Godwin. They had Gronk. They had Leonard Fournette. You know what I'm saying? They had all these new pieces on there, and they had Tom Brady. And they was winning one, they was losing one. They lost to the Chicago Bears, right? Chicago Bears were terrible. They lost to Mitchell Trubisky, had him out there looking like he was the second coming of Joe Montana. Everybody was like, wait and see. And we laughed. We were like, wait and see. Man, we beat them, man. We drubbed them off. We beat them 38-3, man. We smoked them boys. That's what everybody was saying, right? We didn't want to give these boys time, but guess what happened? Guess what happened after that bye week? They didn't lose a game. After that bye week. So for anybody that just said, oh, I'm just being too optimistic, I'm being too, I'm being too positive, we need to call it for what it is. All I'm saying is sometimes teams need time to gel and develop. And I know somebody probably saying, well, that's Tom Brady. I get it, right? Champion. But at the same time, that offense still needed time to click. They were running the football. They had a balanced attack, and they played lights out defense. It wasn't just Tom Brady going out there throwing for 305 touchdowns. It was a balanced attack. So it took time for them in order for them to get to where they were. So I just feel like that's very hypocritical. That on one hand, you know, we laughing at the other team because they saying wait and see, but pretty much, you know what I'm saying, like going at every team, every Saints fan that's an optimist on the other hand. I don't get it. So, I mean, I don't get some of you all's angle. I just think that, man, some of y'all this is coming off real raw emotion at the time that this is happening. TJ, they look like they're trying to set Jameis up for failure. Look, I don't think they're trying to set Jameis up for failure. If they're doing that, then they're the biggest idiots on this side of the Mississippi. Because here's the thing, you won't have enough skins on the wall in order for you to be trying to set anybody up, right? This isn't Sean Payton. This is Dennis Allen, an unproven head coach in the National Football League, who has won a total of 9 games and has lost 30, if I'm not mistaken. So he's 9-30 overall as a coach, if you count the times he's been there with the Raiders. So he's trying to change the narrative too. So me personally, if they trying to sabotage this dude, it's basically like you're trying to sabotage yourself. The reality is the offense just not working, and you need to figure out what your identity is going to be. It's just as simple as that. It's rather you're going to be a run team and take what the defense gives you type team, or you're going to be a team that tries to get explosive plays. Because, you know, Jameis has these stats. He had 350 yards passing, but to me, that's equivalent to Dak Prescott. You know, that's a Dak Prescott type game. When, you know, when a Cowboys down, here come Dak coming out there trying to throw that thing, slinging that thing late, you know what I'm saying, and catching Michael Gallup down the field and catching Mari Cooper. He go over 200 yards and a loss. That's what that looked like to me. I'm not impressed. And if somebody thought I was going to come on here and say, oh, I'm impressed, he had 350 yards and that's what my calling card was to defend him. No, absolutely not. That's garbage time stuff right there. That's garbage time stuff. And that's when the defense was playing about as soft as a baby's bottom. All right. So you get no props for that. Offensively, as a group, they just need to get better. And somebody mentioned this. They need to stop starting so late in games. Bruce Arians' play calling was the issue during that time. Exactly. I would like Justin Fields on the Saints. That ain't happening. They're gonna keep him. This time can win if the O-line gets their head out of their butts. Well, Jameis got hurried and hit 9 times. They only gave up 1 sack. So in that regard, it's rather he was getting the ball out. Man, the dude was throwing the ball away. Like, he was throwing the ball away. He was making good decisions to me with the ball. Some of the passes sailed on him. You know, some of the passes kind of sailed on him. But he was, for the most part, he was making some good decisions with the football. Some of them, not so much. Not so much. But that offense needs some help, man. TJ, but look who they had at quarterback, and look who and let's see, look who we got. Man, look, the defense plays outstanding. Like, come on, man. Come on, let's give the defense some credit. The defense has arguably the greatest quarterback of all time. They held them to 199 yards, 190 yards or something like that last week. So you expected, like, nobody is going to mistake Baker Mayfield for Tom Brady. So if we be like, man, look who they played. Well, look who they played last week. That's arguably the greatest quarterback of all time, and they neutralized him. So, no, like, nah, I can't, like, I'm telling everybody. I am telling everybody, look, I understand that the sky is falling right now because we 1-2. But if this offense don't even need to be top 10. Man, all they need to do is be middle of the pack. If the Saints offense was like 12th or 15th in the NFL, the Saints would be one of the best teams in the NFC. Because this is an elite defense. You go wrong when you put them out there on the field. This is I'm telling you, I am telling you, unless they have like some type of catastrophic injury from a couple defensive players and they out, based on where this defense at. They didn't even play Paulson Adebo that much today. He probably was in there for 4 or 5 times. They played mostly Bradley Roby and Marshawn Lattimore, who we got to give props to, because I ain't hear that boy name not one time this entire game. This entire game, and I rarely heard CJ Moore name, so you know he was guarding CJ Moore. This defense is lights freaking out. If this offense can be middle of the pack, if they can figure it out, you ain't even got to be throwing for those 400 yards and all that kind of stuff, putting up 40 points. I'm telling you, this team is much better than people are giving them credit for. They're much better than people give them credit for. If this thing can come together offensively and you combine this defense, this gonna be a tough team to beat. That's what I'm banking on. I'm banking on this team getting together offensively, because if they do, that's a wrap. They're playing, like, I want people to understand, defensively, they're playing lights out to a point. They ain't even generate no interceptions this entire season, and they still, you know what I'm saying, like they still only gave the Carolina Panthers offense 1 freaking touchdown. How many times did the offense do something crazy, you know what I'm saying, and gave these guys a short field, a missed field goal, a block, and these guys came out here in midfield, and yet the Carolina Panthers had to punt back to the Saints? I mean, they tried to go for it on 4th down, and this defense still, you know what I'm saying, got off the field. And in these type of moments, man, you gotta look at you gotta look at it for what it is. I get it, right? That when things are at their worst and you're losing, and you know you feel like, oh man, everything is like doom and gloom. I completely understand it. I want to see this team win every single game, just like you. But in reality, folks, we have to understand that other teams come to play, and right now this team is not a good football team, but they got what it takes to be a good football team. I'm just asking people, like, it's easy like for us to like look at the obvious, you know what I'm saying? Look at like some of the things that's like that stick out, right? But we don't look at like the positive things. Look, you've been watching this Saints offense for weeks. This is what I do. We've been watching this Saints offense for weeks. We know it's slow. It has been slow for the last couple of weeks. So why do you pinpoint constantly looking at a slow offense, right? And just be like, you're just allowing yourself to get more and more angry. I'd rather focus on the things that went wrong last week, see some of the improvements, you know what I'm saying, from this week. And I seen improvements on offense. They just don't have an identity. They just don't. They're not patient. They're not patient when it comes to the offense. If something doesn't work, maybe they'll try like 1 or 2 times. If it don't work in those 2 times, they'll never go back to it again. They'll never go back to it again. You know, them running the football, they was getting stopped and all that kind of stuff. I still say run the football. You got to be able to keep defenses honest. And, you know, they did make some big plays down the field. A little bit too late for my liking, but I seen some positive things that you can actually work on. Kamara open in a flat or underneath the D most of the time. Penalties need to stop. For sure, P. Carmichael is getting a free check. No more hiding behind Drew and Sean Payton. Yeah. P. Carmichael can't go on the field and execute the plays himself. The offense have to execute better, especially that O-line. Let's see. Just remember, even if the kicker kicks the field goal, we still lose. I mean, yeah. I mean, hypothetically, okay, if you want to say that, but I can easily say, well, that first drive, they was pretty much in plus territory. You know, if it wasn't for those penalties, who's to say that would have been 9 points? You know what I'm saying? That would have been 9 points or even a touchdown. So if they up 7-0, or you take away that fumble that would return, I mean, the game looks less lopsided than it ended up being. I mean, there's a lot of plays you can pinpoint and say, what if? If we're fifth, we all would be drunk right now. Some of us are drunk right now. I can tell by these takes. Crazy how when Drew played, Kamara was one of the best receivers on the team. Yeah, because he's Drew freaking Brees. He's Drew freaking Brees. Like that's the difference. Like nobody's going to mistake Jameis Winston for Drew Brees. Hell, nobody's going to mistake Andy Dalton for Drew Brees. Drew Brees was Drew Brees for a reason. Drew Brees is special. Drew Brees is a GOAT. Drew Brees is the greatest quarterback in New Orleans Saints history for a reason. Once again, if everybody could do what Drew Brees has done, how special would Drew Brees be? So, yeah, he made a lot of guys look better. He made the offensive line, to me, look better than what they actually were. And he was able to get the best out of, mediocre talent. You don't have that anymore. Sorry. Welcome to the modern day New Orleans Saints. Welcome to 2022. Stop looking back in the past because it don't benefit you none. Sean Payton ain't walking through that door. Drew Brees ain't walking through that door. So some of y'all, I think you all have to understand this. They're gone. Bye-bye. They're not coming back. So you can go back and wish to the days of yesteryear when Drew Brees and Sean Payton was on the sidelines. And there were more great moments than bad moments. But guess what? They're not here anymore. We need to focus on what can make this team get better today. So resting on what happened back in 2006 on to 2020, like that ain't gonna benefit jack. It's not gonna help this offense improve. It's not gonna get this team to a better 500 record. It's not gonna help this team make the playoffs. Plain and simple. So there were some great moments. Made me, I'm saying, some of those moments made me laugh. Some of those moments made me jump up out my seat. Some of those moments made me shed a tear. But guess what? Can't have them back. They are in the past. So we need to focus on what can make this team improve going forward. But I'm going to go ahead and read some of these stats. We got Jameis Winston was 25 of 41, 353 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. You have Alvin Kamara, who had 15 carries for 61 yards. You had Mark Ingram, 5 carries for 18 yards. And you had Jameis Winston had 2 carries for 5 yards. Chris Olave, 9 catches for 147 yards, a monster day for the rookie. You got Traquan Smith, 4 catches for 105 yards. Michael Thomas, who left with a toe injury, had 5 catches for 49 yards. You had Jarvis Landry, 2 catches for 22. Kamara had 2 catches for 12. And then you have a couple guys with 1. Adam Troutman, 1 for 9. Nick Vannett, 1 for 5. Callaway, 1 for 4. That ended up in a touchdown. And Juwan Johnson had no catches today. All right. Jameis Winston, he fumbled the ball twice, got it back. And Alvin Kamara, of course, lost the fumble that led to a touchdown. You got some of your leading tacklers here. You got Pete Warner with 11 total, 6 solo. Big game. Shy Tuttle, 7 tackles, 5 solo. Then you got Demario Davis, 5 tackles and 2 solo. And then you have Bradley Roby, had a couple of tackles. I'm just looking at this, man, looking down the list here. Man, I'm looking for Lattimore. I don't think Lattimore didn't record anything today. So I guess they must have completely stayed away from him because I don't see Lattimore even. I don't even see Lattimore on the board. So they must didn't even try to throw his way at all. So that's what you got right there. But I will say this when it comes to the defense, even though they played pretty well, the tackling was a little bit shaky to say the least. That big play by Laviska Shenault. I don't know what the heck PJ Williams was doing there. Honey Badger missed on that tackle. That's something that you really just don't normally see. So they need to clean that up when it comes to the tackling. So TJ, you telling me Jameis can't throw a check down to AK? I'm not telling you anything. You want me to tell you that? Hey, you want me to tell you that? I didn't say anything. I ain't saying he can't throw a check down to him. All I'm saying is the screen is an art. Like everybody can't do it, and it's not going to be as crisp and precise as Drew did. Drew just knew how to feel it. Like if it wasn't there, he'll throw it at his feet. If it wasn't, like if it was there, he had a way of kind of setting it up. It's an art, man. It's an art, and I just feel like that's just totally unfair. Like any quarterback to come up in here, like we need to stop comparing them to Drew Brees because we are so spoiled as a fan base of the great quarterback play over 15 years. Now it's like we just expect everybody to be this, and they're not. They're not, man. Everybody ain't completing 70% of their passes. Everybody not doing it. I mean, this man was methodical, man. He was a technician. You know what I'm saying? This guy was the Brett the Hitman Hart of quarterbacking. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't the sexiest thing in the world, but it was just straight precision. It was great execution more times than not. Now it's like every quarterback that comes in, because some of you probably don't remember like mediocre to non-existent quarterback play. Like some of you probably don't even remember that. And I have to be very careful as some of you when some of you say certain things to me because you really don't have much to compare to. And maybe that's why I can have like a Zen-like patience when it comes to this team, because I've seen worse. All right. I've seen when you had absolutely no hope. I often say hope was the name of the girl that you knew down the street from you. That was it. When it came to the Saints, that was the only hope you knew. So I guess that's the reason why, I'm a little bit more patient than others, but I believe in this team, man. And even if it don't pan out, I'm still going to continue to believe in this team. Just my opinion, I thought we should have went outside for a new head coach with maybe new ideas. I'm not finna blame these players. It's up to the coaches to prepare your troops for war. Yeah, Linda. I mean, look, that's a good point. But here's the thing. The Saints, the way that they lost their coach was unconventional. It's not usually when a team loses their coach, it's because they got fired. The coach got fired on Black Monday or, the middle of the season or something. So a lot of these coaches, like they get fired. So Sean Payton, he didn't get fired. He stepped down. So, and the Saints were a game away and a 49er loss away from making the playoffs. So even though you deal with all this type of adversity last season, you still were there in the playoffs. So how or why should you get rid of the guys that were responsible for you even being in that position? They were the ones that was coaching the guys up, and when all these guys were going down, they still put a formidable team on the field in order for them to be in that position. So it's not like how it was in years past, because if you were to bring in a new coach, then you might find yourself bringing in a whole bunch of new coordinators and a whole new regime, and it might mess up the nucleus of what you actually are building. Because I'm going to tell you right now, would I want to lose Chris Richard and, would I want to lose him as a defensive coordinator? Absolutely not. Would I want to lose Doug, like Doug Marrone or something like that? When it comes to like the offensive line? Probably not. Because I feel like this offensive line with him over the next couple of weeks, I think they're going to improve. And he has a history of fixing offensive lines. So no, I wouldn't want to lose him. I've seen development, when it came to the linebacker coach of the New Orleans Saints. Rizzy. Like one of the, best special teams coaches out there. And didn't look like it was today. But all I'm saying is you got all of these guys that are in here, and there are some bright spots here. If you want to look at the offense, I'm with you. They leave a lot to be desired. But they got some really good coaches on this team, man. And I'm afraid, like, if you was to lose them, we dealing with this offense like this, will we be dealing with a lackadaisical defense if those guys were there, if they weren't here? So that's the way I look at it. Kamara is dealing with a rib injury. Yeah, he had to get taped up. Yes, early in the game. It's the old line people. They get right, we'll be okay. We have young and older viewers just chill on the cursing. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm. If I see some profanity on there, I'm not even gonna read it. I like majority of our coaching staff. They aren't the problem. Is Allen, Carmichael, and Jameis. Keep blaming the block until the cows come home. The film sings a different tune. Yeah, the blocking. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. It ain't always the blocking. I'm not gonna continue to blame the O line for a lot of those sacks. I mean, the pressure that's on Jameis to read. Jameis got to be able to know where that pressure is coming from. He got to get that ball out of his hands. And a lot of the times you'll probably see Jameis. He'll probably roll to his right. You're trying to scramble and throw the ball down the field, try to make a play. But you got to be able to. Change to be able to audible out and change it to something else. If you know that the blitz is coming. Hell, even a hard count or something like that, where you can actually see them jump sometime and put them in a position to be able to succeed. You got to be able to see that. It can't always just be O-line. A lot of the time, like even last week, people were talking about how many sacks he took. But a lot of the sacks was because he was holding on to the ball too long. Saints turn the ball over once and just loses the game. We got to make playmakers on offense, man, to not be putting up points. Yeah, we got way too many playmakers. I agree with you with that one. Jameis doesn't know how to move in the pocket. Yes, he definitely knows how to move in the pocket. He was doing plenty of that today. That man was rolling to the right and scrambling and throwing, down the field. I do feel like you probably would have had more first down chances if Jameis Winston didn't have the back injury. I think a couple plays he probably would have scrambled, and that probably would have been beneficial. And I will say this, we talked about this and this guy not being right and dealing with these injuries. I just think that I don't know who his representation is, but by him going out here having these injuries, and if this is not an indication of who he actually is, and it's more so he's be able to do some of the things because he is injured, then I mean, in my honest opinion, I would probably sit him down, because you're not benefiting anything by having him out there. That's the only reason, I would feel like when it comes to Andy Dalton. Stop that. Don't do that. TJ, according to what I'm seeing in the chat, you can't make any decisions, miss any tackles, throw interceptions. None of these things ever team does. We can't do. If we do, we're trash. No patience. Look, like I said, I just think that people are just trying to find somebody to blame or something to blame. Have at it. You know what I'm saying? Like have at it. But that's just not how I'm a roll. I'm like I said, I've seen some positive things with his team, and today, in my honest opinion, I know people like, man, we beat ourselves. Nah, today the New Orleans Saints beat themselves. It was more so what the Saints didn't do, more so than what Carolina did. I'm gonna give them credit when that defense, them boy were hunting out there, but it was more so what the Saints didn't do, more so than what Carolina did. There's no way a team with the offensive stat line of the Carolina Panthers should be winning any games in the National Football League. It's funny how y'all in here can allow no room for error and development, but expect the world to be patient with y'all as you make mistakes. Hypocrites. It's okay to call out bad play, not overreact. Well, you got a lot of people out here overreacting, and that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Like you can feel the way that you do, but it's not going to sway me. When I tell people that I'm a Saint fan through and through, when I say that I love this team through and through, it's not a conditional type love, and I'm not just gonna go out here and just bash the team. Yeah, there's some things that I feel like they need to clean up on. Of course, I think we all do, but just to say that they completely inept and they have absolutely no chance at cleaning up the mistakes that they're making, I just think that that's just a little bit of a reach. Right now, Tampa got 3 points, Green Bay 14. Well, that's what you want. Teams really built around Taysom quarterback. That's 9-0 game plan could be done every game. Taysom being out is huge. We already slow. We can't be soft too. Without Penning and Taysom, we soft. I agree. The offense is different when Taysom Hill is out there. And yes, I do feel like when it comes to the offensive line, I think that when Penning gets back, I think you're probably going to see more of an improvement, especially in the running game. But all that stuff right now is just going, huh? What happened to your leg? Hold on 1 second. What happened to your leg, buddy? Oh man.
Oh
All right.
no.
Or did you hit the ball hit your leg? All right, it's gonna be okay, man. Yeah. I'm gonna stroll down a little bit and go ahead and wrap it up, man. I gotta be on dad mode. Let's see. TJ Green Bay just fumbled on the 1 yard line, was about to go up 21-3. Yeah, that seemed like something that was familiar, like last week. Tell him, TJ, this team is literally finding ways to lose consistently. Quarterbacks or we lost to were trash, yet we lose special teams off. Yeah. I mean, look, the Saints had no business losing this game if you look at the offensive stat line of Carolina, but they won. And they got to figure. The Saints got to figure. They got some things they need to figure out, man. What we now see with our Saints is a very undisciplined football team. But we got through the last couple of years of the Jim Haslett era before Drew and Sean arrived. We'll be okay. Well, I mean, I don't know. I just think that you clean a couple things up. You work on some ball security. Execute a little bit better offensively. I think that you can be there. Are they letting Jameis Winston change the play? Audible. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's a professional quarterback. I mean, he has to, he has like the range to change the play if it's beneficial to what he's actually seeing. I bet if Dalton was out there, it would have been different. Who knows, man? Who knows? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what it would have been like. Probably could have been better. Probably would not. I don't know. Just give Lamar Jackson half of Louisiana and bring Bieniemy. We're going to have some groove, funky offense. Well, yeah. And what about the defense? What about the defense then? So, what you going to try to keep those guys that you have? Because I will hope that you will want to keep those guys. Jameis had to be perfect, but it's okay for Kamara to fumble a touchdown to the defense, and the O-line can commit drive-killing penalties. But yeah, blame Jameis. Man, all I'm saying is, look, if you want to blame him, fine. I've seen a couple of plays out there that he probably would say himself he wish he had back, but to like completely absolve everybody else and just say, well, Jameis ain't it. Like, it's his fault. Like, come on, man. At the time, I want to say at the time where Kamara fumbled, I think he was completing at that time about 70% of his passes. But once again, I guess he wasn't going bombs away and he didn't catch nobody on no 60-yard streak route. I don't know. This was a group effort. I forgot about our boy on the blind side, Penny. Yeah. The 3 games so far, the Saints have been their own Achilles heel. They just played smarter ball. We would have, we wouldn't be having those conversations. Yeah, man, that's how I feel. And I guess that's probably why I feel the way that I do today. I'm like, that if these guys were out there just getting straight smoke every week, and it was like, I would be like, okay, you know what I'm saying? But they ain't even getting smoked. I think, like those late 4 quarters, like tell a different story, but they be right there in the game. It was tied at 7 minutes into the 4th quarter last week versus Tampa. And like they got back into the game. You know what it was, at that particular time, what was it? 13-7 or something like that. So if you would have been able to get a stop, get that ball back to the offense, who knows where this game would have went? Who knows? Because on that last drive, I want to say, Jameis was like 7-7 or something like that. So they was playing a different type of defense, and he was able to find those soft spots, and guys were making plays down the field. So I don't know, man. I see some things in this team that could get cleaned up and fixed, and this team can be right there with some of the best teams in the league. Because I just feel like they capable of being there. You know what I'm saying? They just have to get it together offensively. TJ, I have a tendency to stay off social media after the Saints lost. People overreact on wanting to fire the coach, season over nonsense talk like that. Yeah, that's because you got some man. I'm gonna just leave it. I'm gonna just leave it alone. I'm just leave it alone, man. But I will say this: I don't understand why some people just do what they do. I just don't. I just don't know what they benefit from that, and I don't know. I just think some people that are in certain positions need to be responsible, and they need to understand, the type of energy that they put out there. I'll leave it at that. Never trust anybody. First name is Sean. Most likely a bandwagon fan. Let's see. Jameis doesn't go through all his progressions. Andy does and quick. Man, the best quarterback on the team is the backup quarterback. Let's see. TJ and Jameis Winston need to go at this point. Let's see. TJ and Jameis Winston needs to go. I need to go too. I need to go. Yeah, throw me out of here. 2 weeks in a row, the Saints offense have given away 7 points. It doesn't seem like the Honey Badger is an upgrade from Malcolm Jenkins. Not the best game in the world, but still early in the season. I seen and it's funny you said Malcolm Jenkins, because I can remember having the same conversation. Does Malcolm Jenkins have what it takes when Darren Waller was out there, walking them, like working them in that Monday Night Football game versus the Raiders in 2020? Man, does Malcolm Jenkins have it anymore? And then as the season progressed, ain't nobody have no more questions about Malcolm Jenkins. So, man, bro, I've been doing this show for 5 seasons now. So for 5 years, I've been doing the State of the Saints podcast, and I tell you, man, some of y'all takes and the times that y'all have these takes are on brand, about his own brand as General Mills and Kellogg's. Seriously, y'all talk about the same stuff all the time. Sometimes it just plug, copy and paste. The Saints ain't gonna win. The Saints gonna be terrible. Our offense bad. Why are we waiting so long to get, to get points on the board? Like, it's the same thing. I can see us having these conversations like around week 8 or 9, and we still talking like this game just happened today. Then I'll be with you. I'll be like, okay, they're not very good, but I will concede to say they're not a very good team as of right now, as the making of this podcast is underway. Because good teams don't do what they did. Now, TJ, the Panthers beat the Saints because the Saints didn't adjust to the things the Panthers and the Eagles will be picking high because the Saints won't win no more than 8 games. I'm sorry. Okay. If you call being a realistic fan a bandwagon fan, then I'm guilty. You're deluded. How you a realistic fan, Sean? Like, all this stuff is opinionated. Like, just because you call yourself real don't mean that you're being real. I'm not trying to poo-poo on you, bro, but just because you sit up here and just give your opinion and you say I'm real about it, don't mean that it's real. Like, some people are not going to believe what you're saying right now. Just like some people probably watching this right now, not going to believe what I'm saying right now. Some people probably got their face turned up like, man, TJ, you tripping. I ain't about to sit up here and just say I'm the undisputed truth of the New Orleans Saints. Now, they got some times where I can, I say some stuff and it'll come factual, but somebody just saying, man, I'm just being real. It's just realistic. Like, nah, it ain't. It's an opinion. You're basically saying that if Andy Dalton was in the game today, the Saints would have won. You don't know that for sure. You only speculating. You're only speculating as an onlooker. I can say whatever, you can say whatever you want, but you don't know if that would have happened. You don't know if Andy Dalton would have came in the game, got blasted a couple times, turned the ball over. You don't know. We all going off this 5-for-5 performance in preseason. All of a sudden we just, gonna be calling for Andy Dalton constantly. So I don't know what it'll be. You don't know what it'll be. All this stuff is opinionated. For 5 years, I've been doing shows. Basically, I just look at certain things, I give my opinion, and I keep it moving. To say that your thoughts are facts that's kind of, That's kind of egotistical right there, bro. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real with that. Hey, TJ, are we witnessing how great Armstead greatness and leadership was for us? Yeah. I mean, I think that you're seeing a lot of guys and what they've done, like Drew Brees, Armstead. I mean, I think you're seeing a lot of guys' greatness based on some of this sputtering that the Saints are doing right now. Coaching has to get better, bro. Every team going to blitz us. Yeah, I agree. They're going to end up now that they're going to probably end up getting Jameis killed. They're going to end up getting him killed, or they're going to end up making situations worse to his back. Our offense has been slow starting since 2015. I'm delusional in my retirement. Saints content, TJ the host, Ross Jackson, Matt Moscona. Well, look, to be mentioned among any of those guys, is an honor. Saints fans are the absolute worst after a lost Breeze and Shaw spoiled us. Yeah, they spoiled a lot of fans. They spoiled a lot of fans, and you have a lot of fans that don't know life outside of them. And all they know is basically doing the right things more times than not really making too many mistakes and winning a lot of games. See, a lot of us are upset right now, not so much about Jameis Winston's performance or Jameis Winston in general. It's just the fact that y'all talk so much trash to other teams in NFC South. You in the back of your mind, you're thinking about the chickens coming home to roost. Your thoughts about us being in a basement, us being, the bottom feeders of the NFC South. That's what a lot of you are getting upset about, because you talk so much trash on social media, and now you feel like you got to get your profile name changed. But if you are down for the team, you're down for the cause, you're a card carrying member of the Who Dat Nation, win, lose, or draw, you should believe in this team, and you should understand what this team wants, and you should have that level of optimism. My thoughts and views don't waver and don't change, because it doesn't benefit anything. There are going to be times on here where I'm going to get upset and I'm going to get mad. But here's the difference. Here's the difference, man. The reason why I would come on this show in years past and get mad is because of who they had out there. You had Drew Brees, the greatest quarterback of all time. And you had Sean Payton, one of the best play callers of all time. So when it comes to offensive execution, if the offense isn't working, why not? Look who's a quarterback. You all are sitting up here and you look at what the Saints have as an offense right now, and you just automatically just assume that this offense was going to be putting up 40 points. And now that they're not, you're upset. But when you dealing with new coaches, when you're dealing with new offenses, when you're dealing with new players, and you have a quarterback that's trying to figure things out with those players, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. You count the fact that these guys have gotten together and very little action in preseason and training camp, because most of these guys were dealing with injuries, rehab, and all these other things. It happens. So that's not gonna change my way of thinking. TJ, you still going to London? No, I'm not gonna go to London. I had a choice between if I was gonna take that trip or going to my college homecoming. I preferred the latter. Nah, bro, for real though, if we keep acting like Jameis is an amazing quarterback, we finna be the worst team in the league. Nobody look. Nobody's saying that he's an amazing quarterback. Not well. I don't know what everybody else saying. I don't know. I never said that he was an amazing quarterback. I said that you can win with the guy. He has really good upside. And he has he has really good ability. I think that some of the things that he does best are kind of stunt because of his injury. I do feel like we probably have more first downs, because he'll probably be scrambling a little bit more. Or, like some of the plays, I feel like, deep balls down the field. I think that, you'll probably see more of that on accuracy. But, I ain't about to say, he was an amazing quarterback. I think that he good. I think he's talented. But, I don't know who out there just, saying, he a amazing quarterback. Not at this point. He hasn't proven that yet. Jets got a better offense than us. as of September 25th, 2022. Let that sink in. How many wins the Jets got? Did they win today? Did the Jets win today? Let's see. Did the Jets win today? Somebody answer this question for me. Did the Jets win? No, they did not. So they got the same record as us. So offensive innovation. Let me see. You got Joe Flacco. He threw the ball 52 times for 285 yards. Right? Threw the ball for 285 yards on 52 passes, right? And they lost the game. So regardless, offense, you know what I'm saying? Like, you may care about offense putting up 300-400 yards. What I care about is the offense generating more points than the opponent and getting wins. That's what I care about. I'm a who that. This wasn't on Jameis, season young. Thank you very much for the $2, Prime. TJ, they said put Ian Book in the game. Exactly. Let's see. We had 3 straight 7-9 seasons with Breeze. Who was at fault then, Nation? We don't remember that, though. We don't remember those things. Didn't the Chiefs, Bills, and some top teams lose today? We just want to win, but you win some and you lose some. Exactly. It's not the end of the world, folks. I get it, man. I'm just trying to look at some of these scores. You see me looking down, but I'm looking at some of these teams, man. I mean, you got the Ravens. They beat the Patriots today. The Dolphins beat the Bills. How about that? You know what I'm saying? The Dolphins beating the Bills. Then you got the Chiefs. They lost today. They lost to the Colts. The Colts got shut out. You know what I'm saying? Like last week versus Jacksonville. And the Chiefs are supposed to be one of the best teams in the league. So all I'm saying is, man, you never know. Like you never know. Right? Any given Sunday. If you don't bring it, all those teams out there got the capability of beating. The Panthers didn't beat the Saints. The Saints beat the Saints, if that makes sense. I already said that. Their defense played outstanding, though. Their defense played outstanding, and but those turnovers, like those penalties when you're converting on third down, we ain't finna go 17-0. Oh, I already knew that. We ended up just missing the playoff last year with a serious depleted team. Coaching helped us then, and coaching is holding us back now. Well, we'll see, man. Like I said, the season is still young. Hey, TJ, I still think our defense is top 5, but I also noticed we gave up 2 100-yard rushes in 3 weeks. Your thoughts? Well, yeah. I mean, that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing, giving up those rushing yards. But I also think about, what did those rushing yards produce? What did they produce? Like Chris McCaffrey, I mean, he fought for every yard that he had today. He went over 100. But a lot of those runs were basically like he probably sprung maybe 1 or 2. So it kind of just made like the stat line look a little bit more conflated than what they actually did and performed. It's almost like if you have a guy in check, right, all day, and then in the fourth quarter, he just break one, the punter puts you at the 4-yard line, and the guy just runs a 96-yard touchdown. I mean, the stats going to look conflated there. But, yeah, but one thing that they did do, they paid attention to the running game, and they constantly worked at it. And Chris McCaffrey didn't always break it every time, but they didn't shy away from that. They ran the football, and that's what you should do. They basically played the same game plan that the Saints should have played. And they was talking about the Saints were getting stuffed and that. I'm like, man, keep running that football. The problem more times than not is that they were trying to do too many doggone stretch plays. They were trying to do these toss plays and these stretch plays. They're trying to go, you know what I'm saying? They're basically trying to go north-south instead of going east-west. You know what I'm saying? Like they well, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Instead of going east-west, they should have did that. You know what I'm saying? They kept on like doing these stretch plays. And that's why I feel like the biggest issue took place. But we got 305 people watching this right now. I ask that you hit the like button if you enjoy the State of the Saints podcast. Lutz is cheeks too. Okay. Yeah, he missed 2 field goals. Yeah, he missed some field goals today. Got one block and missed the other one. Has not been a good outing for Will Lutz these last couple of games. So but these field goal attempts started to look like last year. Bandwagon fans cry together. The London Bridges is falling. Well, if that's how you feel about it, that's all. That's all I can say. If you feel that way, then that's the way how you feel. Hey, TJ, let me ask you: do you think the CD Duke trade affected us any? No, I do not. I do not. I'm gonna ask you this: this loss today really is a real true reflection on the passing game? Absolutely not. Like they gave up that one play to Chenault. Besides that, I ain't really seen too many passing plays. I mean, did y'all see guys like getting open and the defense wasn't right there, all on top of them like a cheap suit? Like I mean, that's why I saw it. That's what I seen. So I don't think this has anything to do with the passing game. It's more so, being able to. I mean, the defense played outstanding. It's hard for me to like criticize the defense, even that play they gave up. I mean, the fact that they only gave up one play, though how long they were on the field was amazing to me. Andrews Pete back in the ice tub. Yeah, he had a concussion. You got to give a guy some credit for that. I mean, guy got his bell rung. I am terrible at quarterback evaluation. I thought Lamar Jackson would be trash. He's the best quarterback in the game. I thought Jameis would have a good year. Well, the season is still young. The season's still young. In my Aaron Rodgers voice, relax. Look, I don't know if look, I'm to a point. Look, I don't care if the Saints decide whatever they decide. I just want them to go out there and be effective. That's the way I look at it. But I just think that thinking like we need to get rid of this, that, and this, and we after week 3. I mean, many times have we seen the New Orleans Saints start the season 1-2? I mean, can somebody go back and look at that? I mean, somebody can go back and look at it. I'll probably have the answer for you, on the next show. But it's not the first time I've seen this team start 1-2. I want to say in 2017, they started 1-2, if I'm mistaken. Let's see, Lamar MVP front runner, in my opinion. Last year, I believe. Too early for MVP candidates. Talk about Tyron whiffing that tackle, but PJ horrible ankle on a wide open tackle messed that up. Yeah, 2020. Thank you very much. I mean, it's not the first time we saw this. It's the first time we saw this when it hasn't, and Drew Brees haven't been in the equation. So now we scared on that. Raiders 0-3. I guarantee you they'll turn it around. Be patient. Patience. And people ain't got no patience up in here. So what week is it okay to panic? Week 5, week 10, maybe week 15? Well, I mean, I say like around, if they ain't got it together around week 7 or week 8, then I can understand people like frustrations and stuff. But week 3, nah. I mean, you can panic if you want to, but my question is like, what would that benefit? What's that going to benefit panicking right now? Like, it's not like you panicking is not going to help the team win any more games. So. But yeah, I mean, panic if you want to. I mean, if that's how you feel. But I want to give a special shout out to Jordan Maxwell. Jordan Maxwell of Homer, Louisiana. Congratulations to you, man. You won this ultimate smooth package. So you can email me at stateofthesaints@gmail.com and give me your address information and stuff like that, and I'll make sure that I send this to you. So shouts out to you, for winning the premium package, courtesy of manscaped.com. Read a few more. TJ, why do some of the people feel like Andy Dalton is going to have better chemistry with the ones when Jameis doesn't even have chemistry? I don't know, because I guess he the backup quarterback. But look, I like Andy Dalton. And do I feel like the Saints can win with him? Yes, I really do. Like, but I just think that when it comes to offense and being on the same page and having chemistry, I don't think that it would be that much of a difference. You still need chemistry with your players, and you still need your offense to be efficient. Let's see, week 5. Sean and Breeze are gone. It's back to square one. We have time to build our team, but this ain't it, bro. I think this team is I think this team is bro. I think this team is good. I really do. I think that they are much better than they've been playing. I mean, just call me Mr. Optimistic, but I really do. I just think they need to just put it all together. I did graduate from Southern University in Baton Rouge campus and retired military. What you think? Rico, it can literally get worse. The more we lose, that's how football works. Well, I'm still gonna be doing shows, and I'm still gonna be talking about what they did wrong and how they can improve. Uh, TJ, it hurts the defense allowed a touchdown right after we got our mojo on the offense and scored a touch. Yeah, that was crazy, right? You finally like get a drive, and then all of a sudden, like you expect for your defense, okay, man, let's get that stop, and then they give up the biggest play of the game. 1-2, not the end of the world, but when you lose to the Panthers, they struggling and struggle with Atlanta, it becomes overreaction Sunday. Well, I mean, yeah, it could be. I can understand, I can understand why they struggled with Atlanta because I mean, you had Mariota was a different quarterback than what they were used to. Um, I can't really understand like the whole Tampa Bay thing. That was just burn that tape type thing. But today, like it was self-inflicted wounds, like they pretty much, hurt themselves on a lot of these plays and these penalties. So it kind of kept Carolina in the game. Excuses. None of that is going to guarantee a win. Um, yeah, I agree. I agree. But I ain't making no excuse. I'm just telling you what happened, from my perspective. So once again, you can say excuses because you already made up in your mind like this team is terrible or this team ain't going nowhere. Fine, but I prefer to talk about things and be optimistic about it. So if that's how you want to cope with it, fine. But I'm gonna continue to talk about what I said. So if you expecting for me to just come out here and after three games and just talk about this team and talk about how terrible they are and how pathetic they are, then not gonna happen. Man, y'all acting like Jameis is the Lord and Savior. Knock it off. Y'all criticize Drew freaking Breed. Jameis will be all right if everybody ain't kissing his butt. Well, I don't think anybody's kissing his butt, but I think that you have some people out here that understand he's the starting quarterback of the New Orleans Saints. So they go as he goes. So you want him to succeed. So calling him bad or saying that he's not good and all that kind of stuff there, I mean, what does that benefit? That's all I'm saying. What does it really benefit by getting in the chat and just talking about that? Like it's not gonna change anything. Like unless like he just goes out there and just constantly like stinks it up every time, and it just without a shadow of a doubt, he's the main reason why they just not winning games. There's not going to be a change. I mean, unless like he gets seriously hurt, what I'm saying, even more than what he actually is right now. So it does not benefit. I think that's what people want. Maybe like people just want you to come out here and just, want me to say the sky is falling. Like, man, come on. Packers a good team, though. Aaron Rodgers is top 5. My Saints will be okay. How many games do you think Jameis got if he keeps playing this way? I'll say about 2 more. If the offense can't get a spark. I know Winston hurt because he doesn't run anymore. That man limping and doing all kind of other stuff. I mean, like I said, even the Matt Millen and the other guy, they were talking about how he don't look the same. Y'all going to be blaming the water boy too eventually. Bucks are losing. That's all we know. Our team is good, but Winston is bad. I don't know. Jameis Winston ain't gonna be the starter much longer because he ain't playing that good so far. They ain't the Vikings won. Well, you know the Vikings gonna win. I mean, they had their game at 12 o'clock, so yeah, that's around. I mean, you got Kirk Cousins, he well rested, around that time. Too many interceptions and missed passes by Jameis. No, you should be objective and hold the team accountable, so they play Dalton. Oh man, I did hold the team accountable. I talked about the penalties, right? I talked about the fumbles. I talked about the missed field goals. I talked about some of the inaccuracies Jameis Winston had in the game. I talked about them, but I'm not going to sit up here and just say this is what some of y'all want. Jameis Winston is garbage, like absolute positively trash. Like what the Saints need to do, they got Andy Dalton out there, right? They got Andy Dalton sitting on the bench. He able-bodied. I guarantee you, if Andy Dalton was to come into the game, I mean, I don't care. It was the third quarter. He would have came into the game. I guarantee you the Saints would have won by like 3 touchdowns because the Saints were just so much better than the Carolina Panthers. That's probably what some of y'all want me to do, but hey, I'm saying week 3, man. All I'm saying is this is week 3. I'm not trying to panic. I'm not panicking, folks. I'm not going to panic, but that's what some of y'all want, man. Like I can play that role. I'm telling y'all right now, I could have easily got behind this microphone and did that, but I would be doing you all a disservice. So if you said that he trash, fine. He trash, okay? But it don't matter what TJ Jones thinks. Hell, it don't matter what the people that's going toe to toe with you in the chat thinks. The only thing that matters is what the New Orleans Saints decide to do. So y'all can whine and complain and boo-hoo all day long. All that stuff is just completely irrelevant until the coaching staff feels that Jameis Winston cannot fulfill the duties of the starting quarterback. So all this stuff that y'all feel like they be paying attention to, they not. Right? You all thoughts and views, as much as we may think that they do. If you think that they looking on Twitter and they's like, man, you know what? Like Dennis Allen on a plane right now, as they head to London. Like, you know what? This guy's saying that Jameis Winston is trash. You know what? Maybe he is. Let me start Andy Dalton next week. Like that's not happening. They're gonna clip that, TJ. Yeah, they can clip it all they want to, but we got the context here. Too many penalties off. Let me see. Offense timing is off. Self-destructive plays. Are they a well-coached team? A lot of football left. Been with the Saints since the bags on the head days. Love them. Well, look, I still love my team. Still love them. How many sacks this make for 3 games? Well, they had a couple sacks today, and they got some pressure on Baker too. TJ is a real one. That's why I roll with him. Well, I appreciate that, Pammy. Like I said, I just can't. Look, man, I'm telling y'all right now, for all the people that's new and probably never seen this, I'm not a person that's just going to like do a disservice to you and just be a character and not give you like real organic and genuine feeling. I just can't do it. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to be honest with you all. And the way that I feel right now, I'm like, the season isn't over. I've seen teams struggle early and try to figure it out down the stretch. And I just want people to have that same level of confidence in the team. Like they had some bad moments today, the turnovers, the penalties, all that stuff is hurtful. But I'm willing to allow this team to figure it out. I mean, I seen Chris Olave, you know what I'm saying? Like he had 13 targets when it was. He had 13 targets last week. He had another 13 this week. He had 147 yards receiving, right? You know what I'm saying? So he was out there catching some of those deep passes. He was winning those 50-50 balls down the field. So if you had like reluctance about giving him the ball last week, well, look what he did this week. I mean, so I don't know. Like I said, we pretty much know the obvious. So sitting up here just talking about the same old thing over and over again, hoping that somebody would like finally I guess see the light. It's pointless. Dennis Allen, thank you very much for $2. Says after reading the chat, I decided to bench Winston. Well, look, if he believed that, then and if he honestly, even if Dennis Allen, this is how I feel about it. Even if Dennis Allen was on a plane and watching the State of the Saints podcast, and I was to sit up here and be talking about bench Jameis Winston, and he listened to me, like I think he should be fired. Seriously, like you shouldn't be like as a head coach, you shouldn't be listening to no podcast or what they got to say. A bunch of people in the chat, what they got to say. Like you should be focused on trying to make the team better. So if he's listening to me or any other podcast out there, or any other person that's out here with the comments, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you don't want a magic coach. These are people that only see the final score. I asked them if they watch the game and crickets, casual fan. Coach, it is discipline. Hope Landry isn't hurt bad. Michael Thomas too. I hope that. Jameis Winston is still 10 times the quarterback Bobby. Oh man, the best plays against are running up the middle screens and slants. Winston is a cancer to us. He needs to go, and we need to get back to who that. Oh man, ooh, boy, tough crowd, boy, tough crowd here today. Put Dalton in, and they'll be calling for Jameis in 2 weeks. Boy, it's a tough crowd right here, boy. Y'all ain't got no patience for nothing. I know some of y'all ain't married. Some of y'all ain't got no relationship, because if your patience is how you are with the Saints and how you are in your relationship, I guarantee you some of y'all have some lonely nights. Tell you that. How long will the injury report be for the New Orleans going into the London game? Injury guards are plaguing this season as well. Training staff may be suspect. Now we blame it. Thank you for the $10 spec. Oh man, but we blame it. Hey, I've been on here for an hour and 41 minutes, and this is what I heard for us to blame. I heard offensive line. I heard Jameis Winston. I heard the DBs. I heard the trading staff. I heard the coaches. I heard the kicking. God dog, man. So just throw the whole team in the trash, right? God dog, like we ain't leaving nothing unscathed right here, boy. This is a murder investigation, right? We ain't leaving no stone left unturned. My goodness, boy, we done blame everything today, but I ain't hear not one person. I probably heard maybe one, put a blame on Alvin Kamara fumbling the football, but ain't nobody say nothing about that at all. And I like Alvin. But man, that turnover when your defense when your defense is basically doing everything they possibly can to keep you in the game, and you cough it up like that, that's huge. Like that 7 meant like 14. Like that, to me, the way the offense has been playing lately, a touchdown is double. Like, so a touchdown is like 14. Because they ain't like how it was when Drew, you know what I'm saying? You can just get down the field and erase a deficit like that. But yeah, that was huge. That was huge right there. Who that fans, but I watch. Well, he said, I'm a Who that fan, but I watch all games, and we are definitely the worst looking team through 3 weeks as far as expectations. Well, who expectations were that? Yours? Everybody else's? Like, once again, your anger and your frustration is paid for by a nice little chunk of change called yourselfville, okay? And some of y'all been living here. You have to blame yourself. So the way that you feel about this team and the expectations that you put out there for this team and where you thought this team was going to be at, that's your own fault. All right? Because once again, no matter who is on the team, we talked about this. I don't know, some of y'all new to the channel. If you are, thank you. Hopefully you stay here. But we talked about this. You had like these star-studded teams, these big high-profile teams bringing all these free agents in. It don't always equate to success, So a lot of us are mad because of our own doing. We put that energy out there. Like, we thought that this team was going to be undefeated at this point. We thought that this team would have been able to steamroll everybody based on the talent that they had. We thought that, right? So how can you get mad at the team because they're not living up to your expectation? The expectation of this team was built by you. You got to go out there and play. And these other guys on the field, they don't care if you got Chris Olave or Michael Thomas on your team. They trying to win. So if you're giving the ball away, if you're putting, you know what I'm saying, you're generating a bunch of penalties, if you're missing field goals, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. It's just as simple as that, folks. I hate Tampa Bay and Dallas Cowgirls and Packers and Lambs. Let's see. I don't know about y'all, but if my quarterback was playing with a broken back, I'd play a whole lot harder. Yeah, I mean, dude, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know what to do at this point. Imagine being the worst offense in the NFL. We might get the number 1 overall pick, but the Eagles own that pick. Man, after 3 weeks, of football, we already gonna be the first overall pick. I swear. Who else got a 1-2 record in the league right now? Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm tripping. I don't know, man. Let me check some stuff. I need to see some records because I don't know, man. The Saints must. I don't know. Let me see. I'm about to look at some of these standings. Because maybe I'm tripping. Okay, so you got the Dolphins at 3-0, right? Let's see who else. Let's see who 1-2. Okay, the Jets, the Patriots. All right, Chargers, Broncos, they yet to play. You got the Steelers at 1-2. You got the Super Bowl, you know what I'm saying? Like the ones that made the Super Bowl, the Bengals, they 1-2. You got the Titans who were in the AFC Championship game last year. They 1-2. So let me see who else. I'm just looking right now. You got the Rams who 1-1. They yet to play. They still playing right now. They won the Super Bowl, but hey, they got a loss. You got the Cardinals who won 11 straight games last season. They 1-1. Right? You got the 49ers, they at 1-1. And you got the Packers, they're at 1-1. You know what I'm saying? They probably end up being 2-1. But all I'm saying is it ain't the end of the world. It ain't the end of the world. I named some really good doggone teams right there. Teams that made the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Teams that had high expectations, even higher than the Saints. Maybe not New Orleans, not if you're a Saints fan, but hey, I read off some teams. So to me, it's the sky falling. Not to me. Hell no. It's not falling. So let's just keep it 100 right here. And then you should, honestly, it's early in the season, so maybe, you know what I'm saying, you'll be able to get back to, playing a game, you know what I'm saying, be able to build up some chemistry. So by the time you really get into the depths of your schedule, you can go out there and make some plays. You're definitely right. But look at our team. Yeah, but you can't look at that, man. I'm telling, bro. I get it, right? You see all this talent around here, but these other teams are talented too. And if you're turning over the football, you're missing field goals, right? You know what I'm saying? You're waiting late in order for your offense to try to generate some points. You're going to lose. You're going to lose. It's that plain, that simple. No matter who you got on the team, you can have Breeze, you can have Brady, you can have Rodgers. If you're turning the ball over, if you're turning the ball over the way the Saints turn the ball over the last couple of weeks, you can have any quarterback you want back there. You ain't winning jack. If your offense can't perform and can't execute, you ain't winning jack. Period. This is much deeper than who the quarterback is, man. Like, seriously. You got guys missing blocks. You got guys getting false starts. What's up, man? Oh, okay. That's good, man. But anyway, man, let me go ahead and get up off here, man. But my final thoughts are simple. They lost today. They 1-2. Okay. You have 2 options here. You got 2 options. Number 1, you can head for the hills, right? Because, you know what I'm saying? Because the sky is falling. You know what I'm saying? Or you can be optimistic. You can just kind of have this wait and see approach. Now, I get it. Patience isn't everybody's thing. Everybody wants instant results. But as for me, I am going to continue to support this team, and I'm going to continue. Okay, get a wipe and wipe your nose. But anyway, thank you all so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. I'd rather sit up here and be optimistic about the team and what the direction that they're going to go in. And I think that it's going to be fine, man, once this team actually starts to get it together. But previous episodes available on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor FM as I wipe my son's eyes and nose. Thank you all so much for being here. Appreciate your time. Everybody calm down. Everybody relax. Enjoy your evening. Make sure that you hug somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe look at yourself in the mirror. Tell yourself to calm down. It's not the end of the world, folks. There's plenty more football to be played. The Saints go across the pond versus the Minnesota Vikings, and hopefully they come back a 500 team. Till next time, all I got to say is